the littlest chef.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to The Littlest Chef. My name is Natalie, and in today's video, we are making yet another chicken noodle soup. I absolutely love soups in the wintertime, and I'm back with another very simple chicken noodle soup recipe. In this recipe, I'm using chicken drumsticks, but if you don't feel like cooking chicken and prefer getting a rotisserie chicken that's already prepared, feel free to do that. Okay, so let's get cooking. So the first step is to season our chicken. I am using the traditional green seasoning, also called épices. If you don't know how to make épices, feel free to check out my épices video. I will link it in the description below. And then I'm going in with our dry seasonings, that sea salt, the Sylvia's chicken seasoning that I recently discovered. And another thing that I love to add to soup is turmeric because it gives the chicken noodle soup a nice yellow color. But just don't add an extreme amount of turmeric because it has a very distinct taste. And then we're gonna go in with our herbs. Here we have some oregano. And some basil. If you have an all-purpose Italian seasoning, that would also work because it would have all of these herbs combined. And then we're gonna add some garlic powder and some onion powder. Some cayenne pepper to give it a little kick, but not too much. And then last but not least, a sprig of thyme. So now this is my favorite part. We're gonna go in there and mix all of that together until that chicken is nicely coated with all of those seasonings. And this is how it's gonna look at the end. And remember, if your chicken doesn't look seasoned, it's not seasoned, okay? So definitely make sure that you add in all those seasonings. So now you're gonna add the chicken to a pan. I like to use a nice large pan when I'm making soup because I want a lot of broth in my soup. You're gonna add several cups of water until the water has just covered the chicken, and you're gonna boil that chicken for about an hour. This is how it looks after an hour. You see the chicken is nicely cooked and you see that beautiful broth. And now is the time when you're gonna add those carrots, that celery, the potatoes, the plantains, any starches that you like. But before we do that, let's add a little bit more water. And we're also gonna add some chicken broth. I'm using the chicken broth from Trader Joe's. So the liquid that you're adding here should almost reach the top of the pot, because remember, you're gonna be boiling this for like another hour. So a lot of that liquid is going to evaporate. So you wanna make sure you have enough liquid in there to boil those starches and potatoes. So right now it's time to add in our carrots and celery. And I just love, love, love the color of carrots in a chicken noodle soup. That orange is absolutely gorgeous. After we add in those carrots, you're gonna add in whatever starches you like. I'm using potatoes and a little bit of plantain, but feel free to use any starch that you want. If you wanna use dumplings, now is a good time to add in your dumplings. But I didn't use dumplings in this recipe because I wanted to make this recipe gluten-free. So now you're gonna add some onions, and definitely don't forget to add in that Scotch bonnet pepper to give your chicken noodle soup a little bit of a kick. So this is how it looks after we add in all that liquid. In the last 10 minutes of cooking, that's when you're gonna add in your greens. At this time, I like to add in my spinach, and I also like to add in my parsley. These leaves don't take long to cook at all, and I also want them to keep their color, that vibrant green color. So you're not gonna let them cook too long. I think 5 minutes is more than enough time. So this is how it looks after a few minutes. And I usually like to go in and kind of break up my chicken into little pieces because I want to make sure that I get like a little piece of chicken with each bite. Some people like to leave their chicken in whole. If that's you, just do whatever you like. And then finally, this is how the chicken noodle soup looks after about 2 hours of cooking. So beautiful. The color of that turmeric really made this chicken noodle soup look nice and yellow. And it was exactly the color that I was looking for. I definitely hope you try this recipe and let me know how it goes. I'll see you in the next video.